Indian economy 2026, bullish or bearish? India has largely been a very services oriented sort of country GDP wise. So those might be a threat.
So if India is a startup, is 2026 our seed round or series A?
Yeah, probably seed. Yeah.
Nifty hasn't given any returns in a year. So do you feel India still is a Sonic Chidiya?
Well, I think there's some sector for India. I think IT sector, for example, covers I think 30% of Nifty. So now with AI coming, might be some large shifts that happen. So Nifty might look very different, say 5 years ahead. Yeah, if you look at Nifty performance, India might look bad. In my personal opinion,
Taiwan is the index which has got 54% in last 1 year.
Right.
You see, Taiwan is an opportunity to invest.
not just specifically Taiwan, but yeah, I think a lot of more Indians are globally diversifying their wealth. I think so. We're also now working on this. There's a new zone called the Gift City. So we've also just kind of applied for setting up there, as we're working with another international broker to enable like 26 exchanges for Indians to invest into these countries. Yeah, I do think not Taiwan specifically, but there'll be a lot of wealth towards the opportunity.
Will India ever see Zerodha's IPO?
Yeah, probably, way down the line. Like I think today as a company, we're highly dependent on active trading as a revenue source. But the idea is to diversify as much as possible. Because again, active trading is so highly dependent on how the markets are performing and regulations. So there's high dependency of these things which are not really controllable for us. So the idea is to diversify as much as possible, build annuity sorts of income. Also, Rainmatter initiative that we're building out is to look at a way to invest into multiple companies and give investors, if in the future we do have, give them like a more predictable sort of growth rather than being so dependent on active trading. So some companies were done really well, who we really appreciate. One, I think Berkshire Hathaway has done better than where they started with insurance but now have invested into so many things. Someone in India who's done it well is Naukri, InfoEdge. They started with HR recruiting and then have invested into like Zomato, and so we're trying to do something similar.
Quick questions on Kamath brothers. So Nikhil Kamath or Nitin Kamath, who's a better mentor?
I've worked with Nitin, so lot more bias. I would say Nitin.
Nikhil's watching it, he's gonna make a grumpy face. Who's a more critic?
Yeah, I guess Nitin.
Who's more into fitness?
Yeah, Nitin.
Nitin, obviously. Movie or series you would recommend to watch every professional?
Since I've worked in the stock market, something that comes to mind, I really like Scam 92. It was really nice. Gave some basic topics and give a little bit history background.
Growth or profitability? What's hotter in 2026?
Yeah, definitely profitability. Startups who are chasing growth and gaining market share, and then later figuring out how to get profitable. But I think that's changed a lot. There's so much uncertainty, and then figuring out profitably after 5 years, 10 years. I don't think that 5 years, 10 years window is now there to keep waiting for that outcome. So I think it's becoming a lot more frugal, building profitability from day one.
Do you feel AI is just another way of getting funds from company?
So I think AI is more like a tool on how you're using it. I think you have to still feed it with all the context you can. So I think the better people will be who can feed as much as context with each minute sort of observation and then using AI in the best way. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's definitely helping people, uplifting people, because you don't need to have so many skills, so many different skills. You can now just put in all the context and get outcomes with not having so many.
So do you feel that having that concept of AI in pitch deck, this will attract investors, or it's Indians are really actually doing it something in that?
I think when it just started out, I think probably now we are all so now accustomed to using AI in daily life. I don't know, I didn't recollect when we started, but probably 1.5 years. But it feels like 5 years for some reason. I think initially when there were pitch decks coming in that 3-month, 6-month period when we all started using AI, I think maybe they were getting more sort of premium or more. Maybe a VC or listening to that pitch a lot more. But I think now coming to it, everyone's it's become so common. I don't think it's helping anymore. I think it's probably better if you don't use it.
Indian economy 2026, bullish or bearish?
Yeah, again, your sectors, say some sectors can really do well. I think manufacturing, farm, I think these, they have a position to play and India can do really well. But again, India has largely been a very services oriented sort of country GDP wise. So those might be a threat, because I think with globalization it's becoming easier to kind of solve for services using AI. So yeah, those sectors might get hit, but manufacturing can do really well.
Does ESOPs really create wealth or another retention technique?
No, definitely creates wealth, I would say. I think one big part of ESOP which many companies go wrong in is not showing some liquidity. Like even if you give 100 rupees worth ESOP, if you can give 5 rupees worth liquidity in say year 3 or 4, wherever it is, whenever the company gets comfortable, I think that plays a long way because then your trust automatically comes in for the employees that, I have this thing to fall on, there is liquidity, I've seen it once and I can get it in the future. So I think that seeing liquidity once really helps a lot. And I think in the long run, if you stick to it, you can get that full 100 rupees worth liquidity. So I think it definitely
If an employee gets laid off today because of AI and all, what should be his approach in his next interview?
should just really be honest. Most likely, if he got laid off from a company, he wasn't as sort of interested, as sort of passionate, or went deep enough to have enough context to make sure that if one sort of department is getting affected, they can replace, they can sort of very easily jump into another department. So I think, being able to be as involved as possible, having as much as context, help being in a company for a longer run. So I think if you've not done that in the previous one, I think you can just be, honest and say that, that product didn't sort of align with me. I want to join your company because product aligns with me. I read about that people really passionate about it. So yeah, I would say, just be honest.
MNC or a startup? Where would you start your professional career today?
Startup for sure.
Why wouldn't you go to MNC?
Yeah, I shouldn't say for sure. Depends on person to person. But in a smaller stage company, you get to interact, you get to see the founder up close, even the founding team up close, how they're going about it. You get to learn a lot more. Otherwise in an MNC, you're generally part of one department and you're not getting context with as many departments or as many things. But in a startup, even if you join in the legal department, for example, I did, I got to see what's happening in sales, in account opening, investments, and pretty much everything within Zephyr. So it's definitely, I would say.